Welcome to the Success Sensei podcast for anyone interested in success, happiness, and balance. We'll teach you how to be a black belt at life. And now, your host, former professional fighter, multiple world champion, entrepreneur, and investor, Robert Devane.
Bowing in. This is Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei, helping you to win at life one kick and punch at a time. Episode 285. Refocus and Remotivate for 2022.
It's the Success Sensei podcast main event.
Refocus and Remotivate for 2022. Yes, I have a frog in my throat, which is why I'm a bit delayed with this episode. I was going to release it yesterday, but I didn't have much of a voice at all. So this is actually a big improvement. And I like the bass tones that I have in my voice at the moment. So maybe it will actually be an improvement in how I normally sound. This episode is all about setting your goals for 2022. I did title it Refocus and Remotivate, because I'm sure at some stage you can look back in your life and see yourself in a time that you are very motivated, very driven, and very focused. And it's to get back that drive and that focus and that motivation and that self-discipline. Because obviously the last 2 years have worn us all out. It's detracted from our focus and our motivation and our discipline. And I think it's time now to really revisit that and to get even more focused and motivated than you've ever been before. Now, I've designed a simple success statement questionnaire. It's not really questions, they're statements. And there's only 12 of them. And based on your answers, yes or no, yes being true or no being false, it can determine how likely it is for you to achieve success this year and beyond. Now keep in mind, there's a little bit of entertainment value in this. Keep in mind, this isn't put together to make you feel bad. If it does so, you're viewing it wrong. It's not meant to make you feel bad at all. You don't have to agree with everything on it. All the questions aren't necessarily morally correct. You mightn't share the same values. But regardless of morally correct or values, these 12 statements will determine or have a big input or a big effect on your success, your level of success, the likeliness for you to achieve success. So we're basically testing how driven you are, how focused you are, and how motivated you are. Sometimes to a negative point, sometimes in a negative way, but nonetheless it determines your level of success. So you can answer yes or you can answer no. If the statement is true for you, you say yes, and if the statement is false for you, you say no. Now there's only 12, so hopefully you'll be able to keep track of your own score easily enough. And finally, just before we start these 12 statements, remember now, success is one of those subjective terms. What success means to you, me, and everybody else may be completely different. It may mean totally different things. You could substitute the word success for goals if that makes you, feel more of a connection with this process. But success and whatever it means is totally different to each one of us, which brings us nicely on to our very first statement. Remember, yes or no? Okay, statement number 1. I have a clear definition of success. Yes or no? I have a clear definition of success. Number 2. Success is one of the most important things to me. Success is one of the most important things to me. Number 3. I eliminate wasted time to pursue success. I eliminate wasted time to pursue success. Number 4. There's no better feeling than achieving. There's no better feeling than achieving. Number 5, I see my drive and ambition as a gift and not a burden. I see my drive and ambition as a gift and not a burden. Number 6, halfway, every day I take action steps towards my goals. Every day I take action steps towards my goals. Number 7, I avoid conversations about success with those who have a different mindset. I avoid conversations about success with those who have a different mindset. Number 8, I crave mutually beneficial relationships. I crave mutually beneficial relationships. Number 9, balance doesn't interest me if it will make me achieve less. So balance doesn't interest me if it will make me achieve less. Number 10, I embrace growth and learning above entertainment. I embrace growth and learning above entertainment. Number 11, my success isn't just for me. My success isn't just for me. And number 12, I aim to be in the best mental and physical condition I can be in order to succeed. I aim to be in the best mental and physical condition I can be in order to succeed. So that's the 12. I hope you haven't lost count. I hope it was easy enough. I hope you were fairly quick to your responses of yes or no. As I said, it's perfectly okay if you answer no. It's perfectly okay if you answer yes. It's perfectly okay if you don't agree with some of them. But it's still a great test to determine your level of success, rightly or wrongly, depending on, how you view that balance. Number 9 was a tricky question about balance. Anyway, I'll move on and I'll give you the results before you've forgotten your number. Okay. If you have gotten 0, so if you answered, I should have probably said that. For every yes, you give yourself a point. And for every no, there's nothing. There's no point. So for every yes, there's a point. No equals nothing. So if you've answered no to everything, if you've got a score of 0, you are more than likely listening to the wrong podcast, first of all, but you've got pretty much 0 chance of success. Unless luck comes calling. You have a windfall, or inheritancy, or you marry well. If you've got a score between 1 and 4, then you have the lowest chance of success. I'm sorry to say that, in other words, you're a beginner at the moment and you do need to challenge your mindset and maybe change it to some of those statements. If you have a score of 5, 6, or 7, then you have a chance of possible success or not. And a score of 8 to 11, you are an overachiever with a high chance of success. And if you scored a perfect 12, then success is almost guaranteed, other than the decades of hard work, of course. But do keep in mind that even with that perfect score, you need to be constantly monitoring, as your drive can easily turn negative. So when you're operating at that type of level of efficiency, even a slight knock-off course and it could be your undoing, or you might go that little bit too far, or you can end up pushing people away, or it's a fine line. It's like, if a vehicle traveling 200 miles an hour has a blowout, has a tire puncture and a blowout at 200 miles an hour, it's going to have very different consequences to a car that has a blowout at 10 miles an hour. So if you're answering yes to all of those questions, you're fairly flying towards success, to the point that it would be easy enough to tip it over to turn your drive into something that was actually toxic or something that was negative. So it is something you're going to have to monitor on a regular basis. So that's our 12 statement survey to test what your potential for success is. Now remember that it's a little bit of fun as well as something to make you think. Don't take it too seriously. If it helps you to redefine certain things, then great. If it helps you to realize what mindset you don't want to have, then that's great as well, as long as that helps you towards your goal and whatever you deem success to be. But I didn't want to just leave you on that questionnaire. So I do have 2 other questions which are going to help towards your goals. Right. Question number 1. When you're setting out your goals, what do you want your life to look like in 10 years' time? What do you want your life to look like in 10 years' time? Now we're talking about your job. What job do you want to have? Your family, your country that you're going to reside in, your finances, what your finances are going to look like, / debt, what your debt going to look like or not look like, preferably. Your investments and your assets, what are they going to look like in 10 years' time? Your habits, what are your habits going to be like? Your hobbies, your vehicles, your clothes, your personality, your happiness level. What's that going to be like in 10 years' time? What do you want it to be like in 10 years' time? Your achievements, your education and skills, your physicality. They're all things to think about. Start shaping your goals now for that 10-year vision. So as you imagine yourself, and as you wish, and as you hope, and as you aspire to see that vision of yourself, of where you aspire to be in 10 years' time, you can certainly put the actionable steps in your goals from now, from year 1 now to get to that year 10. Okay, second question. What past ambitions have you been neglecting? What past ambitions have you been neglecting? Are you forgotten about? Are you put on the back burner? If it's still not the right time to try for those goals, consider deleting them. Consider forgetting them or even substituting them for something else. You know, maybe you've changed, maybe your values have changed, your personality has changed, your situation's changed, and then it's okay to change your goal. It can actually feel like a weight lifted off your shoulder to erase long-held goals that you aren't going to go for. Now, if not, and if the thought of getting rid of those goals, erasing those goals, forgetting those goals, deleting those goals, or substituting those goals feels painful or feels like quitting to you, then guess what? Get after them now. Now is the time to go for them. So either get rid of them painlessly because you've moved on, or else now is the time, this year, these goals is the time to really revisit and to actually go for those past ambitions that you have neglected. I hope all of that is helpful to you. I hope it's given you something to think about. As I said, it's my ambition to empower and to motivate and to inspire, not to tear down. I know some of the questions might make you reflect negatively on yourself, but I mean, that's the whole process of all our goal setting. We have to be honest with ourselves on where we're at and what we really do want. Most of all, though, I would say enjoy the process and enjoy going through your goals. Even once you have the proper goals set down and on paper, even just reading them should make you excited. It should make you happy. It should give you joy just to look at them. You should want to be looking at them every day. That's how you know you're on the right path. And if I can help you in any way on your path, absolutely message me anytime. Thank you very much for all your support this year. We're now going into our 4th year. Very hard to believe. I actually thought I was only going into the 3rd year, but it's actually the 4th year. 2022 is the 4th year of the Success Sensei podcast. Absolutely shocking. Time flies. Thank you for listening. Oh, Happy New Year. Thank you for listening. I'm Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei. Life is a fight you can enjoy and win. Bowing out.
This has been the Success Sensei, fighting the winning fight. So add us, subscribe, like, and comment. Keep those hands up and keep moving forward.